Okay. Hey everyone, this is your favorite friend Jay, and today I'm so excited to talk to Nicollette Sullivan, a new face in the jazz and contemporary pop scene. Every publication just called her the new face of American jazz. Nicollette is a rising star, a new voice that we all aspire to listen to. And I'm so excited here to talk to her and learn more about her process. Her self-titled album, Nicollette, successfully carves a unique identity with her distinctive sound. And from what I read, she has too many great influences. So, what I want to say first, hi, Nicollette, how are you doing? And hi, Dan, her dad.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. So, okay, what I heard and what I read is that your dad was a lead singer in a hard rock band. And from what I saw, you were influenced by classic music and by jazz and by all these legends. But did you have any metal or hard rock influences on you as a musician growing
Um,
up or just as a kid?
well, I mean, being around him, growing up, I definitely would hear the music that he would listen to, and I'd be influenced by that, of course. But yeah, I've always I don't think I've ever like limited the genres of music that I listen to.
Okay, so when was the first time that you as a kid you listened to a song and you just realized that something in you changed? You as a kid just realized, wow, I want to do this. Because for me, like I'm a poet, so I kind of know when was the first spoken word that I read made me feel like I want to emulate it or just type it. What about you as a singer? How did this moment manifest?
Well, it's kind of interesting because like I said, my dad, he was in a band, right? And then my mom would also like kind of sing as well. So I was just always around it. I don't remember the first time that I said I wanted to do it because I just always remember wanting to do it, basically. Yeah, I was just always around it. Like my dad would have me with him in the studio, and I just remember always running around, being surrounded by it, and just feeling like I wanted to do that as well.
Okay, so Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald, Josephine Baker, all these legends. What did you find in their music that kind of like reignited the spirit in you? Like, what drew you to their music? What drew you to the jazz?
Well, I like to watch like old films with my mother and my grandmother, and so like that kind of like started it. Um, it like drove this kind of curiosity in me for like kind of vintage aesthetic and stuff like that. So I started watching those movies, and then in the movies there would be like soundtracks, right? And like, you get an interest in that kind of aesthetic. So I would also just venture off and look into things, and I ran into a few songs, a few jazz songs, and that just led to an interest in jazz. So then I started pursuing listening to jazz music. Um, and I liked it because it wasn't what everybody else was listening to. And there was so much like soul and emotion in the music, there was so much, it's just very different from what's happening right now. And I feel like it's like a forgotten art.
Definitely, definitely. I was just gonna say. So, okay. So, what I wanted you to remember with me is the first time you sang in front of a crowd, even if it was a family, like crowd or gathering. When was this first time?
I mean, the first time I remember was I think my second grade talent show. I think I sang Mulan, and then I think I won, right? Like I don't know if it was that year or the next year, because the next year I did I think I don't remember. I did some like little thing with my three friends, right? We did a like a trio song, and then I don't know if it was that year that we won, and I sang lead, like I think it was Destiny's Child, Beyonce. I think I was doing like
Wow.
Beyonce, and my two friends were doing the other two girls. But I don't remember, I can't remember which year I won. I still have that trophy around here somewhere, but I don't know. I can't find it
Wow.
right now.
I would love to see this. Okay. Okay. This is so cool. So, what I want to ask Dan, when I was a kid and I was growing up as a poet, it's very important if you have an environment that supports the creativity, the art. So as a father, when you have a gifted child, what did you do to ensure that the environment kind of like supported this artist to grow and to work on themselves?
Well, I'd say, number one, as a dad, not as the record label, but as a dad, let her make her own decisions. Like, I didn't push her into music. Okay. I'm happy that she's pursuing music because it keeps me involved in, well, not that I'm not involved in music, but it keeps me involved in young, vibrant energy, right? Instead of me just being with my hard rock bands and that sort of stuff. So my main thing was her decision, okay, her choice, not me pushing her being a stage dad into it. So I'm very happy she's pursued it. I was really happy with the fact that she chose a genre, and she's growing, she's evolving. Okay, so this she initially started out with definitely the more jazz tinted stuff, but we're evolving, and she's shifting in terms of a lot of the new music that we're doing is it runs between jazz and singer-songwriter pop, right, Nick?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I want to support wherever she wants to go musically, but I'm glad she didn't go cookie cutter, because that would have been hard for me, because I just don't like that style of music. So I'll just support wherever she wants to go musically. We have established a specific sort of brand and aesthetic, and I think we want to integrate new elements into that brand aesthetic. But I think the brand aesthetic she's established is really cool. So yeah, I just want to support.
Yay, wonderful. So
and I'm selfish. This is fun for me. Going in the studio, writing, helping write, helping produce, getting
yes,
to play once in a while. You know what I mean?
indulging your artist too. I can tell. I
Yeah.
can tell. Okay, so there is a moment when yes, now I can make my first album. Now I can start. Now all this effort can be culminated into something. When did you realize you wanted to release your album, and why did you call your debut album Nicollette?
Well, I don't know. I think it was like, I always knew I wanted to do something, but like I was just starting to, get into adulthood, and I was trying to figure out, what am I doing, right? And I just knew, like, at the time I had already started to regret not pursuing music more, right? So I felt like it was time for me to pursue it. And then I reached out to my father, because he was always involved in music, right? And I just asked him, like, hey, like, this is kind of like, I want to do something seriously, right? And I just asked for his guidance. So yeah, it was just kind of like, I had finished school, and I was just trying to figure out, okay, what am I doing right now? You know what I mean? Like, and, figuring out who you are, and then, yeah, choosing a lane, right? So, yeah.
Definitely.
Figuring out who you are is a lifetime experience. You know what I mean? I want to evolve till the day I die. You know what I mean? And then I want to evolve into the spirit journey. You know what I'm saying? So
Definitely. It's the hardest thing to do. So kudos to you. Seriously. It's a continuous process. It's a continuous process. Wonderful.
yeah.
Definitely. Kudos. So, okay. When you mentioned watching all these classics, I felt some of those film noir vibes in your video, My Favorite Lie, because it just felt to me like, oh my God, look at this music video. It's so cool. It's so aesthetic. It's so sultry and sexy and lovely at the same time. It was just so, I felt inside the mood, not just the song, but also everything, all the senses and stuff. And because I love cinema and I write about cinema all the time, so I want to tell you, how involved are you in the making of the music video, and where do you get your inspiration specifically for this video?
I feel like I'm involved in every part of it. A lot of the videos, I came up with the original concepts for. I style them mostly myself. I just like go to thrift stores and figure out, costumes or whatever, and put them all together myself. Sometimes I do my own makeup and hair. I'm involved in casting. It's fun because you get to wear like a bunch of different hats, different creative hats for doing music. Yeah, so I enjoy being a part of every part of the process. I think the part that I enjoy the least is being the one who's starring in it, because then I don't get to sit back and like watch everything come together. I have to like be in it too, so I feel like I'm like operating on like all levels, and then I also have to perform like the day of like a video shoot or something, right? Like it can be like overwhelming sometimes because I'm doing so much, and then I am there and I have to perform on top of doing everything. So,
and it's because it's low budget. We're indie, we're indie. So that video, My Favorite Life, that didn't cost that much to make, under 10 grand, right? And it looks like $100,000 production. And we have to give props to Daniel Cohen, the guy who directed it. Daniel's a brilliant filmmaker. He's a good buddy of mine. We've known each other for years. And, he's kind of like an uncle to Nikki, and he's just a brilliant filmmaker. So him and Nikki talked about concept and about what was the song written about, etc. And they just came up with something beautiful,
Oh. So what I want to ask you is like, what was your favorite song to sing? Like, which one did you feel like you poured a part of you into it and you just enjoyed it even more than the others, even if you like loved all the songs that you sang, but there's one that must have this special place in your heart. Which one was that?
it's hard to say that because I feel like there's like something in a lot of my songs, right? They all like they're all like they all have meaning, right? Like they all have different meaning to me, right? But like if I'm going to say what I feel like came together really well, I think like Strychnine is a really good I think Strychnine came together really well out of the things that I've released so far.
And what about I like sorry, record label's gonna say what he likes. I like Last Dance.
Okay,
Last
yeah.
Dance is deep. And that's a deep
that's
song.
true. That's true.
I know, but
Yeah.
Strychnine is, I was going to mention Strychnine because it kind of like took me in with its darkness too. Like it had some, even the video is really dark and had some elements which kind of like made me, okay, wow, all right, let me see that. So I want to ask you even about the video and why the vibe of the song drew you to think of this video, because it made me feel like it gave such a witchy, like voodoo, kind of like under elements of horror. So I want to know about that.
Well, it actually started out as something completely different. I wanted to pay tribute to Mae West, actually. So I was trying to like do a Mae West inspired song. But then it, as music develops, things shift, and it just kind of shifted into this kind of, I don't know what you would call it, New Orleans back alley type of vibe or whatever, right? Like, I don't know. So we just kind of shifted in that direction. And then, I don't know, I think I was like, just kind of being inspired by horror at the time, so then I was like, well, let's just do, like a voodoo, like
Very.
meets, like voodoo priestess meets like the Twilight Zone, like type of vibe for the video, where it's like, you go into this bar and then you never leave the bar. Yeah, so then I don't know, it just like kind of evolved from there. Yeah, and I mean, it all starts in the studio too, right? So like a lot of it is like just kind of, for me, it's just like kind of feeling what comes, right? So like the track definitely influenced the video first.
And the character.
Yeah, like it just
write characters.
Yeah, I think I like to write characters. So not all the time. So like sometimes I'll like create a character in my head and then write the song from that perspective. But a lot of the characters also have some form of truth to me, I would say. Yeah, but then some songs are just directly about me, but at least since I'm writing about other characters, it kind of gives me some form of what's the word, anonymity?
Yeah.
Okay, so now that you're an emerging artist and you're on your steps to success, what are you thinking? What are you cooking? What are you working on right now?
So right now I'm working on the second album. We've already released a single, but we have the rest of the album to finish. We've finished a few, and so we're just kind of trying to get the rest finished up, and then I've already started even working on some of the album after that. I'm just writing, I'm just writing as much as I can, as fast as I can.
And
So
are you
that's
thinking of any public performances, something like that? Are you just thinking about going out into the, like crowds and wilds and stuff like that? Are you thinking of something like that?
well, I have a show coming up. It's at the Viper Room. Can you remind me the date?
Yeah, November 17th at the
Okay.
Viper. Friday night, 10:30, November 17th.
Wow, definitely we're gonna tell my friends to check it out because like
Yeah.
most of my international audience is just there, so I'm just gonna put this out there. Yes, come on, Nikki's new show, November
Friday,
7th.
November 17th, 10:30 p.m., Viper Room. She's got a great band. So
Okay,
kick
one.
ass.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay,
I'm
so
her hype man too, by the way.
really, all right, this is awesome. Oh, okay, so just so happy and so proud to talk to you, Nicollette, because I feel like I took from your energy, and I hope that we're talking about music. I hope that you just go and shine into the world as the rightful heir to Amy Winehouse and all those great musicians, because what I see here is a fresh voice, a true artistic talent that I'm sure that if we talk again in a year or so, something else will be there. I hope you will still talk to me. Let me be honest with you about that.
Of
Oh, thank you
course.
so much. Yeah, of course I would. I'd love to talk to you anytime. I
Thank
just appreciate your kindness. Like, that's just such an honor to, even be mentioned in the same sentence as Amy Winehouse in that regard.
Yeah,
totally.
yeah, and Jaylan, right? Putting yourself out there, it can be risky, right? Because a lot of times people will just try and rip your dreams down, and then there's other people who lift you up. You know what I'm saying? But it's like if you put yourself out there, you do make yourself vulnerable a little bit.
Definitely, definitely. And when you're putting yourself out there and you're vulnerable, well, your art is the anchor on which this vulnerability will stand on. But then when you meet people who are creative like you and artistic like you, and you stick together, at least we make these aliens and nobody can harm us or just, like do this to us anymore. Yes, we have each other. We're together. So, yay, like you have a friend here and you have friends in your listeners and you have people who are supporting you. I'll keep supporting you. So, yay, Nicollette, don't ever give up on your dreams. Don't ever listen to all of this noise because it will be there. It will attack you. It's just you are intact and whole and wonderful. And then the world will listen.
I like that.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. It was amazing and honor to talk to you, really.
Thank you so much
Thank
for reaching out to
you.
us. We really appreciate it. This is nice.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay.